debates and shakes. One the disruption where opinions collide. Hot takes, sharp minds, no place to hide. Questions, bold moves, every angle in play. PTD's the league's voice, your highlight of the day. It's PTD breaking through the static. Ardent and disruption bringing all the magic. It's PTD breaking through the static. Ardent and disruption bringing all the magic.
What's going on, everybody? This is Lick. I'm here with Freak, DK, and Andy CG for an episode of PTD. We're early in the season of 33 here. I think this is episode 3 already of the PTD. How's everybody doing today on a Friday afternoon?
Good.
Doing great.
Doing great.
An amazing day.
Is CG with us?
CG is not with us. He likes to stay muted.
Fell asleep. Fell asleep.
You sleep?
Bored him with all our talk.
I mean,
Well,
that's a
we're gonna-
Buckeyes fan for you.
Yeah.
They're never present.
He's probably celebrating right now. They're outside burning Michigan flags and just celebrating. Let's jump right into the topics here for PTD episode 3 here in season 33. We're going to jump into college football playoff talk, and I know it's early in the season, but we've got a lot of big matchups in these out-of-conference matchups that are coming up in the NDL. Are there any possible stumbling blocks for the teams that I'm going to mention here for the college football playoff contenders in this upcoming block, which is block 2? I'm just going to kind of go down the list, and I'm going to ask you guys, is there anybody that's going to stumble in this possible matchup between Virginia Tech at Ohio State?
I'm going to say yes. I believe Chase is back. He's bringing Virginia Tech back to life, and he has a great chance against D. Kennedy. D. Kennedy's a great player. However, I believe Chase has a chance to pull off an upset at Columbus.
Anybody think that Virginia Tech's winning?
No, I love your faith there, and I have a lot of faith in my man Chase, but this game's HFA is hell. And two good coaches playing at a really, really tough stadium. I don't see it. And momentum swings in this version are so drastic that if Virginia Tech makes a mistake on the road, that could be it. Just one mistake.
I
I'll
think
be
you
the one
might.
to say that.
Go
Chase
ahead.
is gonna win.
You think Chase is going to win?
I'll be the
So
one
you
to
think Virginia Tech's upsetting the Buckeyes on the road?
I think so. You know, I'm the king of upsets. I love predicting them. However, most of the time they're wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to need some Enter Sandman to have a chance to beat the Buckeyes. Next up for the matchup is two good friends here in MGR and Rain. We have Nebraska traveling to Notre Dame. You think Nebraska wins?
I think
Yeah.
there's a great chance.
Yeah, as much respect as I have for Rain, that quarterback struggle that he's dealing with Notre Dame right now, that's going to be the deciding factor. If he doesn't get those guys, on track or get something going with them, Nebraska's team is just still stacked, and MGR he's doing a good thing there. So yeah, I can see them pulling up an upset on this one.
I could see this one more than Ohio State, Virginia Tech for sure. But I still think Notre Dame wins, but I could see this one happening more likely than the other one.
I mean, when you think of the CFP, you have to take a look. How many losses can Notre Dame afford in order to miss the CFP? And MGR playing in Nebraska held Miami to 7 points. So It's going to come down to defense and who has a better defense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Notre Dame. Many would believe Notre Dame stumbled out of the block to start the season, so this will be really interesting. I think this is a big matchup. Let's go. Let's go with Texas at Illinois. Obviously, Illinois facing one loss already. Who do you think stumbles out of the block here?
So it's interesting to say Illinois has had a few very good opponents to test this season. The fact that he did lose to LSU, I don't remember what the score was. I believe it was close. I may be wrong. But then on top of it, he just played Alabama in the Beefy Cup. So I think he's challenging himself. So he may have a great chance being comfortable with his team against Texas. However, it is Jiggy that we're speaking about.
For me, it's not the fact that it's just Jiggy. It's also the fact that it's Jiggy with the team that he knows. It's not a team that he's just picking up for the season. It's not a roster he's unfamiliar with. He already has his pieces in place, and that man is a master when it comes to putting the puzzle together. So that's going to be difficult to overcome because he's going to. I mean, he makes adjustments. He has a good quarterback that can, play on the road. So. I see him, not making too many mistakes in this one.
Yeah, I've taken Jiggy as well, but I can see this one happening. I think if the teams were a little bit more even, I would be much more willing to say, upset. But there's just too much of a talent gap between the two teams.
It is in Illinois. It's not at Texas.
How much does the home field advantage at Illinois matter, though?
You're right.
So here's a question for you guys: If Illinois, I mean, obviously stumbling out of the block for me would be Illinois losing 2 games and 2. Do you think that that's going to eliminate him from the CFP if he has 2 losses? I mean, one's to LSU, who's the potential number 1 overall team, and then to Texas, who many think also is the number 1 overall team. But do you think that that's going to be a stumble coming out of the block with 2 losses right away?
If he goes 10-2 with those 2 losses, he's fine. I think I could be wrong, but
Yeah, he would have to be solid in conference play with those 2 losses, and he would still make it in the CFP. But if he loses those 2 plus, a big conference game, I don't see it happening.
I agree with them.
Here's another one here for you. We talk about teams stumbling out of the block and stuff. Florida at LSU.
Pat, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, man.
You're good. We hear you. So right now we're talking about teams potentially stumbling out the block for CFP contenders. Right now we're on Florida at LSU. Do you see any chances of either of them two stumbling with a loss here?
No. No, I definitely see Florida. We'll probably hear a little more about it on game day tomorrow, but I love you, Catman, but it's not going to be pretty.
Do any of you guys think that Florida's going to upset LSU?
I actually think that he has a chance. I mean, Mike is doing really well with that team, and I'm sorry, but DJ is a pain in the. I'm gonna try to keep it clean. He's a pain in the butt. I'm sorry, he is. And looking at the somewhat struggles that LSU had with Illinois, and Florida has a much better secondary, and Florida has a much better defense and offensive pieces. Because there's some hitting speed on that team. And if he can keep it going to keep the mistakes low, and play solid defense to contain the speed of LSU, then yeah, I can see Mike pulling that out.
Personally, I always believe there's always a chance for an upset. Mike is a very good player. He he looks at the strengths and weaknesses. So we'll see what happens when they end up playing.
What's really interesting, I'm going to skip ahead games. I know we have this order of games, but I'm just going to talk about them since we're talking about Florida, is that Florida has the potential, which happened last year, is that you always talk about the best 7-loss team in the nation, I don't know if you that's always tough when you have that many losses, but Florida also plays at Miami this block. So Florida travels to LSU and Miami. And so let's just bring those games together here. Does Florida lose both games? And that obviously would probably dang near almost eliminate them from the CFP, one would believe.
I say splits.
I believe the same thing. I think he's going to end up splitting. He should beat Miami, but he will probably lose to LSU.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there.
Do that, Mike. Let's take them both out.
It's tough to go to Death Valley. Like, it's really hard.
It is. But this is also a team who's whose guys normally play in the swamp. So you would think that I can't remember what badges DJ has. If he has clear head or anybody, if you see a quarterback with clear head, they're going to be hurting you when it comes to hot routes and audibles on the road. But yeah, I just want to see him do it. I want to see him take both teams out because losing to LSU, that's going to be a tough conference loss. And I do believe Miami would be a rivalry game. So yeah, I mean that would hit the little conference goals there pretty hard.
We'll jump into the next game. What about Alabama at Boston College? Does anyone see Alabama tripping up here?
No.
There you have it. Pretty easy. Alabama clear-cut favorite to beat Boston College, who would many probably consider to be one of the favorites to win the ACC out there. And I think they lost their first game, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that correct?
They lost
the first 2 games.
There you go. Although he did Pat, you were in that conference last year. He ended up playing in the conference championship with 3 losses, correct?
Yeah. I think he lost to. He was in the conference championship game. Are you saying with 3 losses on his schedule total? Because not 3 conference losses.
I think there were 3 out of conference losses, right?
Yeah, you know him. He schedules the hardest guys in the league. So yeah, I think he lost to the same cast of characters in the preseason or the non-conference last year too.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, pretty sure he plays Jiggy and Bucknut every year.
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't shy away from competition, which is awesome. Next up, we got Arizona State at Baylor. This one's interesting as Pat's partaking in this matchup. Does anyone see either one of these teams kind of tripping up?
No comment.
I mean, it's gonna be tough because you see, Arizona State at Baylor, both are very good coaches. Arizona State actually has a tough block. They also have 2-0 Boise. So can Arizona State win both? Because he definitely needs it in order to advance in that conference. But Baylor, on the other hand, does have a very good coach, very offensive minded.
He has really good players. We're very worried about it. Very good players.
Where's it at?
I'm not trying to.
It's at
Baylor, right?
at the Branch Davidian compound
Baylor.
in Waco, Texas.
I'm not trying to toot
Baylor by 50.
Oh God.
Well,
I'm not trying to toot Pat's horn, but I have played against that man, and that man is offensively, his mind is it's sickening. It really is. Like the stuff he puts together is so fucking frustrating. It really is. So and he has one of the better linebackers in the game. So yeah, I see him taking this one and just running away with it.
Our linebackers are
Pat always finds the best linebacker, the best teams with great linebackers. linebackers. ECU, Baylor.
We'll jump into the next matchup. Here is the Apple Cup. Another media member partaking in this one. Washington at Washington State.
One of my favorite games of the week. You've got two completely different styles, two good coaches. Both are probably going to be in the top 25. Tim, I believe you're playing at Washington, correct?
That's what I
No,
thought.
I
It
think
says
it's at Washington
at
State.
Washington State.
Oh,
Okay.
beautiful. You don't have to mess with the shadows.
It is a home game. Yep,
I may
it's
be
in
wrong.
Pullman.
Okay, that's going to help you out a ton because I'm pretty sure UW is obviously a top 25 stadium in the game, so that's tremendous help for you. It just depends on which pass defense steamrolls up with. He's really good against the pass, but you can definitely get it rolling, and that's going to be one of my favorite games of the week for sure that I can't wait to watch.
I mean, what would consider stumbling here? I mean, Washington is a fairly talented team, obviously, for Washington State. For me, I'd pretty much have to win every game to have a chance at the college football playoff, to whereas Washington may have a little leeway to lose a game.
This is one of those interesting things where, like, if you were in Vegas for that game, right? Like, typically, if you're going on a talent standpoint, like, you're going to be ranked higher, but I would think Washington is favored to win. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a better rated
A
team.
rivalry game at Washington State. Oh, you have the HFA there, though.
I don't know. There's much home field advantage in Pullman, but I mean, they did get game day rocking, but
I just try to kind of get like things sometimes from a Vegas like gambling thing, like
Yeah.
perspective. If they were setting like a true line on this game, like Washington, even though it's on the road, whatever, just from a talent standpoint in the game, would be, I would think, like a 3.5, 4 point favorite.
I would say that they're probably a 10-point favorite. And the reason I say that is that Washington is an 81 overall team, right? And I know that Vegas doesn't use 81 overalls, but Washington State is a 77 overall with a 75 offense, 74 defense. Washington has an 82 offense and an 80 defense. So, I mean, there's a pretty good 5-point swing there just in overall, which in real life is a pretty big talent difference. And so I'm
Yeah.
with you, Pat.
I think it's going to come down to the coaching. It's going to come down to the coaches and the coaching.
That's what makes football beautiful.
I say a lot of times it comes down to turnover. His team does not. I played him a few times as Georgia with that team. He likes to run the ball until he has to pass, basically. I think his first game, didn't he run like the entire game?
336 yards
Yeah.
rushing, and it doesn't even show passing on the meter. I don't know if he completed such a small pass that it doesn't even show up.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I think you're semi pass heavy, aren't you?
Yeah.
When you
He's very
pass,
passive.
more opportunities to make a mistake. Whether even if you're good at it, like it just comes down to all it takes is that one bad pass.
Yeah, he was 0 for 4 passing.
Well, that just means you got to stop the run.
Yeah. Jump into the next matchup here. Texas Tech at Utah. Many would think that this is probably so far one of the biggest conference matchups of the season. I would probably agree. Texas Tech, Utah. Does anybody really stumble out of the block with a loss here?
It depends. It all depends on the rest of their schedule. I have not taken a look at either of those team schedules, but I believe if one of them happens to take a L, it could hurt them in the future. I know Texas Tech. I think they need to win 8 conference games out of 9 for their conference success goal.
Yeah, Utah at home in this one. The only home field advantage in the Big 12 that actually tips the scales. Texas Tech strength on the D line. Marion loves to run the ball. Utah with one of the best O lines across the board in this game. So probably this one and Tech and this one and Wazoo Washington are the two I'm obviously looking most forward to. This one for a little more obvious reasons. You got to feel like whoever wins it is going to be in control of our conference very early on.
Yeah, I don't know if this would necessarily say stumble, but like there's a lot of good teams and good users in that conference. So one loss, you could be looking at a multi-way tie with one loss teams coming down to the conference, and not only that, but like you could easily lose, as a better rated team to a semi lower rated user, the semi lower rated team to just because there's so many. There's not many like easy games in that conference. Like any loss even early on is tough for your conference host.
And it's always interesting. It's a confidence thing. If you start off 0-1 in conference too, like it just takes a little hit to the, like, am I going to be there at the end? So it's tough when you've got these really early ones. Like I feel bad, like Kansas State and Iowa State, like week 1. Like, gosh, I would hate to start out 0-1 in conference. You just feel like you're drowning, like before the meat of the season.
Yeah, that's going to be, I mean, man, I feel like we say this often every year, but I get so excited for the early matchups. A lot of them are the out of conference, but it's real fun to see some of these conference matchups in those first 2 blocks. Next up, the last game we'll talk about, we're hitting Baylor again. Freak has got a man crush on Pat. Baylor at Rutgers.
That's because Freak's a Rutgers fan, isn't he?
I live next to Rutgers. I'm a semi fan, but I like the way that CC has been playing ball with that team. He's definitely turning them around and trying to show that they can actually do something. So yeah, I want to see how you can do on the road at Rutgers. Do you stumble or not?
Yeah, he's a hell of a coach. That's why I scheduled him. He hit me up. I always like to play someone new that I've never played. That's kind of one of my things. And I know he had a good season last year, and Rutgers has improved, and it's on the road. So yeah, definitely excited for that one.
So coming to the next Frank, was it Frank Burns? Isn't that like the all-time Rutgers coach of all time? I don't know. I don't know much about Rutgers history, but I know he's a good coach.
Well, they got Greg Schiano there now, right?
Schiano's back. He was the one that really led them to the great bowl success back in the early 2000s, or I should say late, like 2006, 2011, before going to Tampa. And then now he's back there again trying to compete against Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State.
Yeah, he's 3-0 in his cup. He beat A&M, Rutgers, and he's 1-0 in the season. So, I mean, it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to play the guy. I've scrimmed him before the season ever started. Great game, from what I remember.
Well, anyone else think Rutgers beats Baylor?
I can see it, but I'm not picking it.
You know what? I'll pick it for the hell of it. Just because it's Pat, I'll pick Rutgers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I wasn't crazy. I had to Google Frank Burns because that name was just like somehow reminded me of Rutgers football, and he coached there back in the 70s and 80s, and he led them to an 84-52 record. Yeah, he coached them in their first ever bowl game. They played in the Garden State Bowl, which is no longer alive. So, but I think Greg has like 60 wins with them in his fairly small tenure with them.
And on top of that, Burns they made another bowl game, but they ended up declining it during his tenure, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because Frank Burns originally coached at Johns Hopkins, so that was in the 50s. But I only really knew of him because I had worked as a surgical tech when I was young in college, and the doctor that I worked with went to Johns Hopkins, and he talked about him, and I had no idea who this football coach was. So I remember looking him up, and obviously his big mainstay was at Rutgers, but small world. Getting off topic here on the PTD. Here's a good one for you guys. See if you guys did any research. I know they talked about this a little bit on the Outsiders or the Outliers. Are there any Power 4 teams that are in danger of losing to a Group of 5 team in this upcoming block for Block 2?
Nope.
Go ahead, freak. You can lead it off since it's your question.
Well, the fact that I did end up doing some research, but I'd say Arizona State. He's got to face a 2-0 Boise at Boise, Smurf turf. I think IROC is trying to show that he can end up playing better than he did last year. I think he got it.
How about
Or you guys-
Ohio and Texas Tech? I mean, maybe a look-ahead game. You always wonder about those. Ohio, Corbin Dallas, very hit-and-miss owner in the league, has put up some good seasons. And I saw that he won a game yesterday, I believe, high-scoring game. So he can clearly score the football, and he's at home. So that was one that kind of stuck out to me.
I like that one too. I saw that earlier when I was doing the quick research, like 5 minutes before the show. I have a few other games I wrote down. If you guys if you want me to go over those, just so see who you guys will pick.
I was just looking real quick. He lost his first game, obviously, but Big Red and Georgia Southern against Wisconsin.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Then you got UAB and Mississippi State.
Yeah, I saw that
week
one.
3.
Good to have Oracle back in the league. He's a long-time vet.
Yep.
So, got a question for y'all. Is Oregon State considered a group of 5 or Power 4?
I consider them a group of 5. That's just me. Same with Washington State. Same with the Independents, other than maybe Notre Dame, just because of their ratings every year. But rating wise, they're mostly grouped in with those. The group of 5s.
I'll be interested to see Memphis and Oklahoma State play for 2 reasons. I personally have Oklahoma State in the next block. I am in an online dynasty with him as well. He is very good on offense. Doesn't matter what the team is that he has. And then obviously Jokers was really good at the end of our block of our seasons last year. Haven't seen him play yet. He's 0-0. I saw Oklahoma State play a cup game and lose, but they do have a very fast quarterback on that roster, and his screen name is Lottie. He will definitely go fast, and he'll try to, he can put up points. So his team might hinder him from winning, but I think that'll be an interesting game because Lottie's a pain in the ass to play.
Mm-hmm. That's agree.
I had the Memphis or Oklahoma State down as well. What about Miami, Ohio at Utah? You think NTX has any chance?
No.
All right.
What about you got East Carolina at UCLA too in week 4, where
and we all know
DK's
not DK against Bucknut.
Hey, we're not even talking about that travesty.
So LSU at South Florida.
So DK, when you try to go into that matchup, is your goal to win or is your goal not to get 35? That's a pretty big difference in goals, but what is your goal going into it?
I want to be completely honest. My goal is just to put up some type of an offense, put up some type of a fight, period. So, if I lose, but I, throw for 450 yards, that's a win to me. I got something, out of that. So that's pretty much, I'm just, oh, man.
Hey, Andy mentioned Georgia Southern earlier. They also play Wake, and there's a lot of eyes on Wake right now because they are kicking ass and taking names. So that'll be a good game.
Sorry, but Claiborne and Ashford are 2. I was actually looking at Wake, and they are a lot better than they are rated.
Mm-hmm. The running backs are real.
I've played Sergeant Lingus probably 10 times in scrimmages. He's about the only guy I've scrimmaged just because he's my nephew. And the first couple times I played him, I didn't understand what was going on, but his running back is one of the fastest running backs in the game.
Yeah, 96 speed. Claiborne is a beast.
Yeah.
And even with his speed size, he actually still bounces off people too.
His offense is crazy, and it's been really efficient in the first 2 games. Obviously, we know the success Chip has had in the MAC, but that was a disaster for Central Michigan on defense. 70 points.
Dude, if you watch the game too, because I was in the game day live thing or with RB, the little red zone, quasi red zone, and it looked like Chip handed the controller to one of his maybe
Patience.
doctor, yeah, one of his because that was not the guy that I've seen be successful. I mean, it was ugly.
I'm sure at some
Play
point
out.
when you can't get a stop at all, and then you get down a couple scores, is like you're just kind of giving up.
But you can't just like throw the ball around, or else you're going to get embarrassed. You think he threw 7 or 8 interceptions? Like that's not good.
You know, that's like playing at work and saying, "Oh, you think you can do better? Here you go."
Let's see, I think Chip struggled in the next game too, didn't he? Didn't he play? Hasn't he played 2 games? I think he won, but it still was.
It was a,
He played.
Yeah,
he
one
played
was a close
CG.
Yeah, he
Michigan
beat
State.
Michigan
That was a
State.
close one.
Because I mean, if we go look at Robbie Ashford, that's a quarterback for Wake Forest. He has 10 touchdowns and no interceptions right now. The highest. I mean, he's
Can't
leading
beat
the
that.
Heisman. If you
What's nice is Wake's gonna have some serious games in the ACC because they've got a few rivals. I think Duke and North Carolina are their rivals, and maybe NC State as well. Actually, I believe him and NC State played this block.
yeah, they do.
They do.
I think it's just Duke and NC State, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely North Carolina because I had Carolina last year, and Wake was one of the rivals. At least it was last year. I know that some of the rivals changed though this go around.
Mhm.
And he should. You would think that he has the potential to be ranked maybe on the back end of the top 25. If not, if he can win another game or so and not lose, he should potentially be ranked. I mean, he beat UTEP pretty handily. Who did beat SMU? UTEP beat SMU. Just want to throw that out there. So let's jump on
That's
to the
karma
next.
for all that.
Yeah,
That's
let's
karma
jump,
for all the stuff that was being said the night before. You're welcome,
jump
Locke.
into the next topic here, talking about the top 25. Which teams are going to be the biggest risers and the biggest fallers in the release of the top 25 Saturday morning tomorrow?
Colorado definitely going to drop. Love you, Tutty, but two not very good performances on offense so far, which is surprising.
How far does Notre Dame drop?
I dropped him personally to like 15 or 16, I think.
I know he's out of my top 10.
But I think I may have submitted my vote before the OU game, but Colorado wouldn't even be in my top 25 if I had to resubmit. So that's just a full.
Yeah. 0-2.
I don't think they made mine. I know you're gonna see UGA drop, unfortunately. Sorry, Andy.
I know. I lost before.
Oh, Central Michigan's out of there for me.
Yeah. The teams that were already in the bottom 25 that came away with a loss this week. I mean, this block, they're probably not going to be there.
Who do you think moves up the most?
OU. I put OU in my top 10.
I didn't because they didn't have a game yet. I don't think. Whenever I
Oklahoma, Oklahoma. When I played, I'm sorry. When I submitted, I didn't see Oklahoma have a game yet.
Yeah,
So
did
I
they
didn't
play
move them
last
up.
night, Pat?
They did. Yeah, he beat the crap out of Colorado.
Okay. Yeah, see, so that obviously that I did my rankings prior to that game getting played, but I still dropped Colorado down. Yeah, so Colorado, if I had to redo my rankings, would probably be out of the top. They would definitely be out of the top 25.
Another guy to climb is going to be Nidler. I mean, he's looked impressive.
Yeah.
What about Nidler looked impressive. What about Missouri? He's been impressive. You said Weasel. He showed his talent at Middle Tennessee State.
I put him at 25.
If he can reach into the top 20. I was thinking about him. I put Slovene in there. But next time, we'll see what happens this upcoming week.
I put Wake in there. And the reason I put Wake in there, not because he's a family member, but because he beat a top 25 team. He beat a Central Michigan team who has been a mainstay top 25 team since he came into the league, and he absolutely throttled him. And so I think I put him at the back end
because
of my
he's a
top
family
25. I mean, if you would ever do that, I'd put you at the top 25.
No, I'm just messing with you.
But I'm with you. I think Nidler at Penn State, doing really well. It's really tough in those first two blocks because you get those 0-0 teams, teams that haven't played. And so, how far do you punish a team that went out of conference and lost to someone, right? You look like Clemson. Clemson's a prime example, right? They go out and challenge
Clemson will drop
themselves.
a little.
Yeah, and so they're naturally going to drop, but how far do you drop them? Same with there's some of these teams that haven't played any games that are ranked pretty high.
Yeah, and
I can see Clemson potentially dropping out of the top 10, maybe to that 10-11 mark. But who did he lose to again?
Texas.
Yeah, that's tough. Do you really drop him that far?
Gave up 50 points.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Who do you move ahead of him though? Because like Notre Dame lost, Georgia lost, Illinois
I think
lost.
some of those teams are just going to jump up. You got teams like Tennessee; they're going to move up.
Tennessee, Florida, Utah.
So I still don't think I could put Utah above him.
I would. He's had well, maybe not in front of him, but I mean, I could definitely see him moving up. I mean, the thing is, USC hasn't played any games either. USC ranked 14, so do they move down a couple?
I had moved them down at least one or two slots.
And the tricky part is Illinois, right? Illinois is ranked 12th last week. They come out and lose a very close game to number 1 LSU. And so how far do they drop, or do they drop?
I dropped him to 16. He hasn't really impressed me. The game against LSU, I mean, when a team sits in zone 100% of the game, like, you're going to get like a tight game because it's just going to be methodical. But I don't know. His team is slow. I don't know. I've just eye test stuff. That's why I have him down below some other guys.
So does Miami drop out of the top 25 with the win over Notre Dame but the loss to Nebraska?
Yeah, I don't
know. Because that some people voted prior to that getting entered. So when I did my voting yesterday morning, that game was not entered online, and so Miami showed to be a 1-0 team.
But if you clicked on it, it would actually show. It showed both scores.
How many
that's
guys
what I went off.
Click on things to check scores.
I click on it. I click on it to open it up to know that I voted a team. So mental reminder that I know that I used that team already in my poll, so I don't miss anybody.
Well, so like if you pull up the voting, it'll allow you to select the team, and then it shows who they played the last two games. And so that's normally how I do it. And it only showed the one game at the time. And so unfortunate too for Nebraska, right? Because Miami gets a big win over Notre Dame and then turns around and loses to Nebraska. But now Nebraska's 1-0. So now Nebraska should probably garner maybe a couple votes here and there. So.
And we haven't mentioned our media pal. I mean, Boise's definitely in my top 25.
Yeah, big matchup this block.
Yeah, but beat FSU. Forget who the other game was that he won. So he definitely garnered a ranking. Yeah, I put him at 22nd.
Yeah, that's a good call out because Boise obviously was a big fan of the Seminoles, and they had a big win. The Seminoles did, so that helps Boise State's kind of strength of schedule argument.
And then here's another one. I put him at 25. It's just more of an eye test thing. It's just the way I personally do things. Is I've got Virginia Tech at 25th. On the road at Tennessee, missed, I think, 3 field goals and ended up losing the game in a tight one. And then he kind of dominated the game in the second half against Colorado at home. I think VT's got a little mojo back.
Missed 3 field goals. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about the Virginia Tech at Ohio State to begin the episode and see if they could make Ohio State stumble this week or not. and
Who's home in that
were
one?
mentioning Ohio State is.
Mm. It's just the ultimate factor.
So I'm gonna put you guys all in the hot seat here real quick, one by one. We'll go with Andy first. Andy, if you had to pick one team right now so far this season that has fallen flat on their face, maybe expectations are really high, coaches were really high, or just the team in general was rated really high, who'd you pick?
I mean, I love him, but it's got to be Tutty. 0-2. A lot of people are picking him to be like the team that not like the dark horse necessarily, but he's not the Texas Tech, Arizona State are better rated teams. A lot of people were picking him to be the team that came out of the Big 12 and then starting out 0-2. Obviously, still can win the Big 12, but like lost only 2 games. So
That's a good answer.
By you, DK, you can't pick Tutty.
Okay, I cannot pick Tutty. That's going to be a tough one then. Honestly, if I have to go with the team, then I'm going to go with Notre Dame. That game against Miami was kind of like a pace setter. Losing that makes his job that much harder because one more loss, since he doesn't really have the strength of the conference per se. And I mean, he could be looking at the end of the season, and he has a tough road ahead of him. So, that loss against Miami, I was not expecting it because I mean, Corey's pretty good, but I mean, Mike has been around this game a lot longer than Corey, so I was actually expecting Mike to handle that pretty well. So yeah, that was probably my big flop.
What about you, Pat?
Sorry, Andy.
my only argument is I just didn't have any expectations in myself. I expected to be fired.
Yeah. I didn't expect you to lose at home to FSU, though.
Yeah.
But it was, hey, I did watch the game. Hell of a game. That last your last drive coming down and his drive to win the game was very clutch. He took good care of the ball. Dude, I've played Sammy my last 2 seasons in high-level games, and he is a pain in the ass to play.
Obviously, not to get too much in that game. Is like he dictated the game. He wanted to play like a slow, methodical game, and we played a slow, methodical game, and then like it just ended up being a low-scoring game. And he had the ball last. Well, I had the ball last. He really had the ball last.
Yeah. It was. I mean, he's tough, dude. He'll do that. He just slows it down a little bit, and he waits. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. If you ever look at the stats of his QBs and stuff, he doesn't throw a lot of picks.
Yeah, I think if you go back, if there were the first 2 drives of the games, his one drive, my one drive was 9 minutes of game time. Just 2 drives. That was it.
Okay, Freak. What about you?
Oh my! I'm gonna have to go with Texas A&M. They're truly on the hot seat. They had their first game, I believe it was against Penn State, and Penn State had unfortunately killed them. But they have a very, very tough success goals this season. A high win goal. I believe they have to qualify for the CFP. So it's gonna be a very rough season for 6 feet and A&M.
That poor guy, love him to death, but he is in big trouble.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, his schedule's not very favorable either right now. He plays LSU and Texas, and they're both on the road.
Oh,
ouch!
Barely got by Syracuse, I believe, in a league game,
15-9.
Yeah, and then lost to Rutgers 14-7. Doesn't sound like the offense is clicking right now.
Yeah, although Rutgers is going to win that NDL pool, but talk about man, the NDL Cup pools, right? Is that it's Rutgers, SMU, Texas, and ULM.
Yeah.
And Rutgers is going to win that pool. Not taking anything away from my crash my car, but man, it's crazy when you look at some of these other pools and they have two of the top coaches in the entire league are in the same pool.
All I hear is "R U." Go Rutgers.
Closet Rutgers fan over here. Pat's like, you live next to Rutgers. You like them? No, I don't really like them.
I'm an Oregon fan. To be honest with you. But
over here.
because I live around Rutgers, I became more of a fan. But Rutgers is not my number one team.
You guys are your number one team that you root for. There should be one team you root for.
What about Dealer over there at Arkansas State?
Yeah.
Comes from Miami, had a lot of success in Miami, rolls over to Arkansas State, starts the season 0-2. Now he did play coaches that are like respectable coaches, but he loses to San Diego State on the road, and then he loses to Deakin at South Florida. But I mean, kind of put your back up against the wall there I'm sure his plan was to go to Arkansas State and try to get a higher draft pick for next season.
Some of those lower teams probably cannot wait for conference play with the way this game plays.
That's always the tricky part about picking teams if you haven't played a ton of the games when the game comes out is this game is completely different than last year. Well, anyways, boys, we only had one question that was asked from the audience. And believe it or not, it was asked by Penguin and is directed at Pat. He says he just needs some update on Pat's dating life and how it may impact the timing of his appearances on Saturday mornings.
Funny you should mention that, Penguin. I'll probably have a headache tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but hey, we'll take the headache. You never said you're not showing up, so. Believe it or not, guys, I have texted and tried to call Pat in the morning, and he wakes up in someone else's bed and says he's on his way home.
Hey.
Yo, guys, did you guys see the live chat and them talking about this Wyoming punt turning into a safety?
That game seems to be a lot of drug. Did you see the other thing with the two numbers?
Yes, I saw that. But they're talking about apparently this punt, because he caught it either out of bounds or inbounds, can't tell you it turned into a safety.
Yeah.
And that's been the talk of the live chat for the past hour.
Oh, I haven't been paying any attention to the live chat.
Yeah, most of the time I just kind of skim through it a lot of times.
No!
No.
My bad, my coworker just came by.
Yeah, I was like, what was that? I thought it was Deacon, because Deacon always has the most obnoxious noises going on in the background.
That's that bullshit.
Anytime Weasel's in the live chat, I'm definitely going to catch up on it.
So Weasel's posting the rules for a fair catch in the end zone, basically stating a safety occurs when the ball's downed or goes out of bounds in the team's own end zone, provided the force. He basically posts the rule. I don't know where he got that from, though, because it doesn't look like it's from the NCAA. It looks like it's from Google, because it talks about such as NCAA or
ChatGPT.
NFL. Yeah.
That's how Jiggy always debates with me. He doesn't even have any original thoughts. He just goes straight to AI. So that doesn't surprise me.
And then CG's in there posting the rules, too, from ChatGPT.
Come on, guys.
And it states it's a touchback, not a safety.
What's the debate at hand?
So basically, he punted the ball. Fair catch was called, and the whoever it was returning it went into the end zone. And there's some debate on whether he touched the ball or not, but he goes out the back of the end zone. The receiver does, and then he was awarded 2 points for the safety.
Was the ball caught at the 1, or was it caught?
No, it was. It sounds like the ball went out of the back of the end zone. There's a video. It was during Dave and Dak's game.
It sounds like it should be a touchback if you're describing it correctly.
If you take a look at the video, it was you see him unfortunately he has the same view as me where it turned into the fisheye when it changed around, but he catches it going out of the end zone, so who knows how it was, but it was in the back of the end zone. It wasn't like in the front where say, hey, I'm right at the pylon and I caught it on the 1 but went to the end zone.
I'm just gonna watch the video. That's not a good description.
Yeah, just
Kidding.
scroll up.
I'm just fucking with you.
But that's what they're arguing
Hey,
about in there, is that it's basically everybody against Weasel right now.
That's why he's
Weasel-
my favorite.
Weasel thinks it's a safety, and everybody else in the live chat thinks it's a touchback. And CG's posted like 10 different scenarios that all make it a touchback. Regardless, like if the guy touched it, if he didn't touch it, if it hit him in the back, if it didn't hit him in the back.
Oh, I just watched the video. It's a touchback.
Yeah. So that's what it's. Weasel thinks it's a safety.
Yeah, it's not a safety. I just don't watch it too. Like,
Oh man, Blue says, "Hey, big Mike, come get your cat." Talking about Weasel.
Wow.
I don't know why that's so funny. When you
Are we
say
still-
you're my new favorite Weasel, it sounds funny. Like you're not attacking him, you're calling him a Weasel. That's what it sounds
No,
like.
just a simple comma always fixes a bad grammar.
Anyways, I don't have anything else. You guys got anything else?
No.
nope.
Awesome. Well, that concludes your episode of PTD on Friday, season 33, block 2. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Thanks for all the fans listening.
Adios.
See ya.